All right, let's get going. Welcome to the show, cybersecurity expert, presidential candidate, and so much more, John McAfee. Thank you for coming on the show, John. How you feeling? How you doing in coronavirus lockdown?
Well, it's boring as hell.
I bet.
Being 3 weeks, we've been under fairly severe lockdown. We started out in Spain because we went to visit friends in Spain the day before lockdown in Spain, and that was serious. So we had to escape from Spain after 8 days. We managed to get out.
Crazy.
And then the following day, our country, I can't tell you where I am, locked down. And so, good Lord, man, this is just no fun. Where are you? Wow. Are you locked down?
We're all in the States locked down. But John, I got 3 questions for you right off the bat before we get going. Really, is it a boat or is it a house? Can you still get weed? And do you want to smoke a little bit of weed before we get going here for real? Just so we can all chill out a little bit.
I would love to smoke weed with you, but I can't smoke it where I am. I'm in my communications room.
Oh no! No smoking in the comms room.
Weed ready?
Well, I just can't do it. I can drink with you. No, we're having a hard time getting weed. By the way, getting decent weed.
Oh no!
Not me. I mean, the last batch we got, and our supplier is complaining because coronavirus is locked down his supplier.
Yeah.
And in another city, and there's just
where
we are. There is no way to drive to another city. You will be arrested. All right.
Heard that's a real issue in Europe right now. Yeah.
No, Jesus, you can't listen. And even if you're going to the hospital, unless you're driving a patient that can't drive, you can't have more than one person in the car, just the driver. No passengers allowed.
Wow.
If you're going to get groceries, no passengers allowed. So it's a speed.
Well,
that makes things dangerous. Well, yeah, if you get a hankering, just let us know. If you can do it within 60 seconds, you can get up, go smoke the weed, and come back, and then we'll smoke with you.
Here's the thing. The weed I've got which is why I'm only lukewarm about the idea, even though I could smoke it. Is it's shit weed. All right.
Don't blame you there,
John. Is it near? Is the weed near? Could you go hit a bowl and be back?
Yeah, I could. Janice, do you mind go getting the bowl, sweetie, with that last weed we got?
Get the shit weed.
Yeah.
No, the one that's in there. The weed that's in there. Yes. Well, no, it is shit. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
99% indica.
Oh.
So you smoke it and pass out.
And you pass. Well, we'll have to keep you awake then after you smoke. So I've got sativa here.
Hang on. So I had a little bit of stash left over that a friend gave me. And if anybody gives you weed, you know it's shit, right? Oh, here, it's a gift. It's a gift. Yeah. What's wrong? What the fuck is wrong with it? What's wrong with it is it's just shit. But anyway, even a bowl of the shit would help. So Janice is going to another section of our facility.
John,
to get and I don't do bowls. I do these small little hookahs, and I put tequila in instead of water.
Whoa!
Oh, damn!
That's cool.
That's my preference. That's my preferred way of smoking.
Do you drink the tequila afterwards, by any chance?
Oh God, no, man.
Okay.
Although I've never tried it, why not?
Yeah, there you go.
Who knows what might happen?
Might be good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's nasty looking. I mean,
after residue. Yeah.
After about 3 bowls, that nice mellow golden mellow color turns into a brownish sewage.
I would recommend after every bowl, drinking it and refilling it.
Just give it a one shot. Yeah.
But then you'd be real drunk. That's a lot of tequila. You'd be pretty drunk.
Well, John,
it's not a lot of tequila. It's no more than 2 shots because.
Oh, really?
It's one of the personal hookahs. Not one of these big motherfuckers, man.
Right.
Who has time for that shit? No.
Like a bubbler.
Yeah, like a bubbler. It's maybe this tall.
Wow.
The bowl is no bigger than this.
I could go get my bubbler and put tequila in it.
Yeah, we might have a new regiment coming up.
Well, come on. Listen, first of all, the taste is extraordinary. All right, you're not going to believe how smooth that smoke is going to be. I mean, water cools it.
Yeah.
But tequila smells it. You go,
Whoa.
Yeah, so definitely doing that from now on. Yeah.
We're gonna call.
As soon as Janice brings it back, I'll show it to you.
Excellent. Yeah.
Then I'm going to go out. We're in a smoking area. It's only about 5 seconds from here, and do a bowl, and then I'll come back. Is that going to be okay with you guys?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Amazing.
Sure. Why not? We're
You
going
guys
to
are
call
easy.
this McAfee. We're going to
Do you
call it the
want-
McAfee or something.
Do you want to watch us smoke so you just to prove that we're not fucking with you?
Yeah, we'll do it here first while Janice.
Yeah.
How do I know it's weed in there? How do I know you're not smoking tobacco?
good
How do I
point.
know you're not the?
Good
How do
point,
I know
good
you're
point.
not the feds? You're
I'm
not
in
the feds.
I'm in a legal state, John. I'm
Good
in
point.
Nevada. I'm in Nevada
Yeah.
here. So this
Good.
is a
Good questions, but do you want to watch us?
concentrate.
Do you want to watch us smoke weed though, anyways?
No, I'm going to smoke with you. Before you light up, let's do it at the
Okay.
same time.
Okay.
Let Janice come back with my pipe. I'll show you my pipe.
Beautiful.
You
Okay.
guys toke up. I'm going to walk out here and toke up, and then we'll come back and see what we can do.
Okay.
So,
All right?
I
you're a
like it.
cybersecurity expert. You founded McAfee AntiVirus. It was a mainstay. It was you're the first guy to identify computer viruses and really identify and commercialize it. You know your shit. So I'm so glad to have you on the show because I was wondering if you could help me. There's this thing on our studio computer called SearchMine. I don't know what it is, but have you heard of this thing? Is there any way you could remote into my computer and help me clear some of this malware off? And also, what's the best course of action for hiding your porn browser history?
There is none. If you think you have any privacy, then you've been living in your mother's basement and you need to move out. I'm serious. We haven't had privacy or security for almost 7 years, people. And then 10 years ago, I told people, listen, antivirus software does not work anymore. It's a useless dinosaur of a system that no longer works.
So I should cancel my McAfee subscription.
Yeah,
Yes, I run no antivirus myself. None.
Okay.
It's useless.
because you're
McAfee,
being,
Norton, Kaspersky, it doesn't matter.
because you're being spied on already by the government.
And here's why.
Yeah.
Nobody does technical hacks anymore. It's all social engineering. You want to find out somebody's password, don't go to their computer. Go to their secretary, their wife, or trick them into giving it to you in subtle and powerful ways. I mean, that's called social engineering.
Right. And John,
Yes.
how has security changed from when you started, where it was like people, I'm guessing at first were just fucking around trying to destroy things, anarchists. Then it moved into potentially people using viruses to steal data, et cetera. And then, as you're alluding to today, things are very different. How have things changed over the course of the 30 years that you've been cybersecurity?
It started out as just kids just trying to fuck with the world. Seeing, can you destroy something, and how much can you destroy? Keep in mind, every generation is revolts against the prior generation and against the system in which they find themselves. This is what life is. So these kids revolting against authority and whatever, it's kind of like taggers in subway stations that paint, everything. Only it was far more deadly. Could destroy all of your data, depending on the virus. And that was bad enough because there were thousands of them around the world, and they just got a kick out of writing viruses, putting them out somewhere, and then seeing how long it would take, because there was no one else but me for a year.
Right.
How long it would take my team to find a cure for it and put it out.
And honestly, John, did you ever, I was thinking about this when I was reading about you recently, did you guys ever, and this, you could tell us now, it's okay. Did you guys ever drop a virus?
Why would we? Why would we? There were, listen,
drive sales way up.
Would it?
If you released a
Hang on. There were 10 viruses written every day in 1988. Why in earth would I spend a year of my programmer's time writing a fucking virus and putting it out there when I had 1,000 people doing it for me? This is what people don't consider. That would be
before you started the business, though, were you like a little bit of a virus writer or hacker yourself? How did you know?
No, I've never heard of a virus. Hang on.
Yeah.
Before not think. Okay, here's
All
little.
right.
There we go, fellas.
Look at that.
I can't smoke it in here.
Right. You're headed outside.
If I do, the local security will shoot me.
Let's get a look at it. Let's get a look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, can we show the rig there?
What kind of tequila you got in there, John?
Ooh.
Oh, that's the cheapest you're smoking through it. This is Cuervo.
Okay, gotcha.
That's like cooking.
Montezuma.
Yeah, this is not sipping tequila, people.
Gotcha.
This is filtering. I use it as a filter.
It's cooking wine.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and smoke this bowl. It will take me all of 1 minute. All right.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, we'll
Keep
see.
you guys online because I don't
Yeah.
feel like connecting up again.
Nope,
All right.
neither do we.
We're here, baby. We're here. We're staying on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
We'll
be
be
back.
with you. We'll be with you in spirit.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, you guys ready?
I'm gonna wait till he gets back to do mine.
I'm not.
Okay, go for it.
Wait, no, I'm gonna wait till he gets back. Yeah, right when he arrives.
He
Yeah.
wanted to do one now and one, and he wanted to do it
Go
at the
for
same
it.
time.
Do whatever you want to do.
Camaraderie. All right.
Same time. All right, camaraderie. Then it is.
I will to get high during the day.
Blew that right in. There we go. Okay,
This is gonna be something.
I could, yeah, I could see
There we
how
go.
smoke in my career.
You guys not used to this sensation?
I think
No,
Daytime?
I am, but
The daytime?
I'm not used to interviewing people.
Yeah.
While high,
Well,
that's for
well,
sure.
Wes is already in his head after one hit.
Well, that's
No,
good,
no,
Wes.
I'm
'cause
okay.
that's good, Wes, because you and Mark are up first with the questions as soon as he
Good.
gets back.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can still read.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh,
All right.
I hear him.
All right, here we go.
Oh, whoa.
Nice one.
Mm-mm.
we're gonna have a relaxed John here.
Yeah. Chilling.
I thought you said it was smooth.
There he is.
All right.
There's the guy.
All right.
Doing one
Yeah.
more for you here, John. Here.
All right.
Oh.
There we go. Welcome back.
Nice.
Welcome back,
I like
John.
your shirt.
All
How you
right.
feeling?
I said I like your shirt.
Yeah, this weed is so fucking harsh.
Hey, blue shirt guy, I like your shirt. Oh, I like
Hey.
your shirt too.
Here, come
Thank
here,
you. Yeah,
Come
we
on,
got
Sorry.
cool shirts over here.
Sorry,
Nice
I
to
like
see
your
you.
shirt, sir.
Hey,
Hi.
what's up?
Hello, how's it going?
Are you Janice?
How are you? Yes, it's Janice. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing
I'm
good.
very well.
Good,
I like
good.
your shirt too. That's Elon Musk blowing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elon Musk smoking weed. That's what.
Yeah.
How
These
about
are,
that?
Smoking a blunt, no less.
Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah. We actually created this shirt for quarantine. It says lock down and turn up.
Yeah.
So when
Oh,
you lock
nice.
down,
It's a
you
charity
turn up.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a charity shirt.
Nice.
So-
you,
I like
you can
it.
you can still have fun when you're locked down, right? It's like what we
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
did.
like what we're all doing right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess.
Yes.
Hey,
But Elon Musk
It keeps,
is no
it keeps us
professional.
from
Let me tell
trying
you
to
now.
kill each other.
Dennis, real
I'm
quick.
sorry.
Oh, I was just saying.
Weirdest shit you ever
Yeah.
seen John do?
Wait, I'm sorry. I missed that.
I
Hi.
did too.
What's the weirdest shit you ever seen John do? We're talking to Janice, John's wife here.
Hi, I'm Janice, John's wife.
In the show.
The weirdest thing I've ever seen him
In the
do.
show. Enjoy it, please.
I don't know if I could say that on here because there's children listening, I'm sure.
No. There's absolutely no fucking children listening to this show.
So
I
might be
don't know.
some-
There's really nothing. He's not a weird dude.
I'm not weird.
Yeah,
No.
no, he's very normal. You'd
I
think
am
so.
normal.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm the guy that when we were in jail in the Dominican Republic 7 months ago.
Oh, you were trying to fuck Julio. Yeah, that's right.
No.
I mean, it was
No,
a joke.
It was a joke. It was a
Uh-oh,
joke.
here you go.
But I was laughing. I was laughing all night long. Now, Janice was in a separate building in a junkyard. This is their jail. Listen, do
Yeah.
not try Dominican Republic jails if it's your first time in jail.
No.
Not recommend.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
How'd you get out?
But I was laughing all night long. Janice was pissed off the next day
Oh,
because
not really.
I was laughing all night
I
long.
was not pissed off because you were laughing. I was pissed because I was tired. I was hungry. We were supposed to be on a flight. We weren't even supposed to be at that location. They were supposed, literally, they said they were taking us to the airport and they took us to another fucking jail.
Yeah, we've
So
been
that's
in, we've
why I
been
was
in
pissed
jail for
off.
3 days.
You're-
And then they
you're
took
pissed.
us to the worst,
Yeah, that's why I was
worst
pissed off.
hellhole of a jail you have I've ever seen.
They call
I
that
get
the
pissed off when I'm in jail too, Janice.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't help because the
they
guards are
tricked
beat
you.
you, but
That's
they
like-
didn't do
that's
that there.
That's like when the parents say we're going to get ice cream
Yeah.
and take them to like the doctor.
Now, I can tell you some
Yes,
strange
exactly.
things.
And
Okay,
you go
that
get
night,
shots.
that night, please pull a chair. I want to talk
Okay,
about
yes, darling. I'll pull a
that night,
chair.
okay?
All right, yes.
Pull up a chair. Because Janice will have to help me tell this. Can you get on this side? I'll sit in that chair.
Oh, no. I'll come over here. Come over. All right.
Nice chair.
All right. Ready?
Almost.
Let's turn that heater off because now I'm frying.
All
Okay,
right.
so now
All right.
let us tell you the story of the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
So now,
Mind you, okay, can we just give some clarity to everyone
Yes.
out there, okay?
Mhm.
We have not been home in America since January 22nd of 2019. 21st, wait, 17th.
No, 17th
No,
is
the
when you left
17th.
America.
January 17th of 2019, okay?
Okay.
So technically, we're like the super OGs of quarantine because, we're away from our family and friends, okay? But anyways, let's catch you up to the Dominican Republic. So we got kicked out of Cuba. They were,
hard to do.
yeah, right?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it was easy for us. By the way, we'd gotten not thrown out, but they came to arrest us in the Bahamas, and we found out about it. That it's on behalf of the U.S. government. Okay, we found out about it. Went to Cuba. Cuba called us in after 2 months in Cuba.
Yeah.
The government into an army barracks where a general came in, sat down very politely, said, "You have been." We have been asked by the U.S. government to return you to America. In exchange for various concessions, we are disinclined to do that. However, you're now a problem. We have 72 hours to leave the country. Janice was there, and we got this notice, 72 hours. So now,
It was kind of nice of them.
I really liked Cuba. Cuba was so nice.
no, Cuba was fucking awesome.
People there are amazing.
Jesus, God, is that a fun country?
Yeah.
And that's the most fun place I've ever
I know
been.
that.
Pardon?
Like to go fishing in Cuba with the Cuban cigar. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Oh,
Cuban
we had a
cigar.
nice cigar experience
Oh,
too. It's
Jesus,
really nice.
fuck me,
Yeah.
yes. Anyway, so we get thrown out of Cuba after we've been thrown out of the Bahamas, and everybody says the same thing: just go back to America. Cuban said, "No, we're not sending him back." We were 4 days at sea in very rough fucking water.
On our way to the Dominican Republic, no one but the people that were on board knew that we were going to the Dominican Republic. Okay.
What type of vessel are you on?
We were on our Buddy Davis.
74-foot Buddy Davis yacht.
Yes. It was not a fun ride at all. It was rough seas. The dogs were throwing up. Some of the crew were throwing up. It was rough, and we didn't have enough food.
We have 10 people and 4 big dogs on board.
Yes.
How long is that trip?
4.5 days.
Holy
4.5
fuck.
days.
Oh.
Dogs are dogs
4.5
funny
days.
to watch in a choppy boat? Because that's
Some
not
of
so
them
much.
are.
They laid down mostly. They
Tequila
didn't like to
didn't.
move around so much, but they were very comfortable. And just so everyone understands, also, we weren't just anchored out with our dogs on the boat. We were at a
harbor where they got
always,
plenty
where
of
they could get off
exercise and
run,
running.
play.
So the only time they were confined to the boat was while we were at sea.
Yes, which was not very often because I don't do at sea. Okay.
No.
And
That's
so
why it took 4.5 days, Janice.
yes, well, no, it was just a long trip.
It's a long trip now from Havana to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, because we couldn't
Oh,
go
that's
anywhere else because everywhere else would be too much riskier. That America.
But still,
could
no
grab
one
us.
knew where we were going because I made that decision after we left port and were at sea. And then I told the captain we're going to the Dominican Republic.
Our listeners might not know why you were on this journey or what you may have been running from.
Okay, so what happened is that we were charged with tax fraud. John was he found out information about they were going to be convening a grand jury January
22nd of 2019
or something.
22nd.
Anyways, and so yes, what John said, the 26th. Sorry. And so they charged both he and I with tax fraud, and some other people that were employed by John with tax fraud. For me, it's crazy. I've never filed taxes, so I don't know how you can be.
And for me,
yeah,
I stopped paying taxes 10 years ago because Well, I had already paid over $50 million in taxes.
So that was enough.
I have not received $50 million in services from the U.S. government. So enough is enough.
I see.
But for the real reason is it's fraud. I mean, it's theft. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional.
So does this mean
law. Why are you putting up with it? I'm sorry?
If you have this charge, does this block you from running for president this year?
No, of course not. The charge is not a crime. You understand?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But it would have to be a totally online campaign.
Pardon?
It would have
If
to
he
be
was found
totally
guilty,
online.
it would change things. He's just been charged.
Yeah, but if you don't step foot in the U.S. until inauguration,
Yeah, no. Hey,
you're
listen.
fine.
Plus, I don't know. I mean, to be charged by the IRS is kind of a badge of, well, God damn, I've done the right thing in life. I'm a good person.
Right. That's like being
What
banned.
more-
That's like being
more
banned from a
badge
strip
of
club.
honor?
Yeah.
What more? But here's the truth of it. So 10 years ago, I stopped paying. I said, I'm not paying. I'm not filing. I'm not filing. Not paying. I did not file. Told them no information about anything, which is not illegal. Not illegal. Now, the
It's
IRS,
also not illegal for them to come take your shit.
right?
if
It's
you
not
don't pay
illegal for them
also.
to come and take all your shit. If you say that.
Yeah, back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not illegal, but they're going to take all your stuff.
Yes.
So now, so I go, and for 8 years, they paid me no attention. Finally, 2 years ago, I started going on international stages in London,
After you
and
ran.
Malta, and Stockholm, and where were we, in Bucharest, and China, and everywhere, saying, you don't want to pay taxes, people? Use privacy coins and distributed exchanges. No one will ever know what your finances really are. Work for people who pay you in crypto and buy everything with crypto. And so that they didn't like that. So now I got charged with tax fraud. However, I ask you something. Fraud means I have lied or given false information on my statement, right?
You didn't have a statement.
I fraudulently put down, I only made 50,000 when I made 50 million. No, because I didn't put anything down.
You get fired.
There's
for
no
that.
statement that I could be fraudulent
So
on.
shouldn't it be tax evasion instead of tax fraud? Like, I don't.
It's not even tax evasion.
No.
Yeah.
Tax evasion is you're trying to evade it. I'm refusing to pay it. Different thing. I'm not trying to evade my taxes. I've told them up front every single year, I'm not paying. You can't be evading something while you're standing there with your arms open. Please, people.
It's fair. You're not evading it. Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm refusing to pay it.
I guess it is all in the phrasing.
Difference.
It is
It
all in the
definitely
phrasing.
sounds like evasion.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Evasion means you are it means you're hiding your assets so they can't be found. You're no.
Okay.
I'm just saying about paying.
Gotcha.
Putting it in your dog's name.
You're refusing.
Yeah,
You're
putting it in
refusing
your
to
you want no.
Yeah, that's
No.
evasion. No, we
No.
don't do that.
To say I'm not paying it
Listen,
can't
he's John
possibly
fucking
be.
McAfee. Have you not learned this? That he can fuck you, IRS. I'm not paying you anything.
Yeah, I know. That makes sense. So now you had to leave in January 2019 because of tax whatever. And then the first place you went, you said was Cuba, or where was the first place you went?
No, we went to the
Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Bahamas. And I figured I went to the Bahamas because I knew I couldn't be legally extradited because
And so what he decides
Tax evasion. So
is because so the caveat of us going to the Bahamas was that in the Bahamas income tax is not a thing. They don't have income
they have
tax
no
there.
income tax. So
So-
not paying it is not a crime.
Exactly. So
Or
then-
evading it is not a
Yes.
crime. So, but I knew once we got there, it wouldn't take long before they would illegally, because it's the U.S. government, push some buttons.
And
then-
so also he decides in that, you can't come and get me, so I'm going to thumb my nose at you and say, hey,
Yes.
here I am, motherfucker.
Yeah, so I'm
Come and
standing
get
on
me.
the beach in the Bahamas, thumbing up my neck going, fuck you, I'm not paying taxes, right?
What?
86 miles from America. So, now, that pissed them off a little. Anyway, so the thing they came up with was they bribed the commissioner of police, Paul Roll, with, I don't know how much, maybe $50,000, just to arrest me on any fucking grounds at all and charge me, right? At that point, I'm now an undesirable alien charged with a crime on Bahamian soil.
You
Right?
said the US
Like the
government,
Mexicans come over and rob a liquor store
you said the
and
US
expect to get justice, right?
I'm sorry. Yes.
US government bribed the Bahamian official.
It's a representative, a representative of the U.S. government, not the entire U.S. government, but yes, a representative. Yes, he's asking.
What?
He's
Like
asking
FBI, right?
if you had your
that the U.S. government bribed.
Oh,
the
yeah, they
Bahamian-
bribe people. They do what they want. They threaten people. If you don't believe it, read the
Happens
newspaper.
all the time.
But if you,
But nevertheless, so
if you had your,
let's get back to
John. If you had your best guess, what like agency you think would it be from the U.S. government that bribed?
Oh, any three-letter agency.
It could be anything. It's the FBI in collusion with the CIA.
Right.
They're not going to call it collusion. They call it cooperation. The CIA cooperated with the FBI in this major tax scam McAfee, which will be headlines. You understand if they do collect it.
Yes, and you would be in jail forever.
IRS finally catches McAfee. Well, won't that be a day? Anyway,
So if you happen to run into the situation where you do get caught and extradited back to the U.S., what Janice is saying is you would go to jail for the rest of your life, she thinks, or?
Well,
that?
not for that. No, not
okay.
for tax evasion, but for whatever they want.
Oh,
whatever
I'll never
they
see the light of
decide.
day again, and you'll never hear another
But I
word
guess
from me.
maybe they don't understand why this is happening in the first place. So because it goes back to beliefs and the
To where?
information that you have. Because people don't understand why you're running anyways. But maybe just tell
Let's,
this.
let's
just
stop
tell a
that.
little
Let's finish
bit.
the story to the
Well,
Dominican Republic.
Well,
We're
we
getting
never finished
so
that
off
part,
track here.
Sorry.
So off
Yeah.
track. So now we're at sea in rough weather.
Yes, and we
It's
get to the
very-
Dominican Republic and they're waiting for us. So we get there, we're tired. We're just happy to fucking see the Dominican Republic. And so we're, excited to get some food and everything, but they just keep us sitting and waiting on the
As soon
boat.
as we dock, I noticed something's wrong.
Yeah.
There are soldiers everywhere with fully automatic weapons.
They were
And
strategically
customs and
positioned
immigration does not come down to the boat
Yes.
because you got to sit on your boat
until
until they give you permission to stand on Dominican Republic soil. You understand?
Not very welcoming. It's not exactly the welcome party.
Yes.
It's not exactly.
Well, no, but in every port when you come in, you can't get off the boat. You
Yeah,
just
you have
wait
to
for
stay
them
on
to
the
come
boat. You have to wait for
until
customs and
immigration first comes and says, "Let me see your passports." Let me do it. You may now step off the boat onto Dominican soil.
Yes. And then the
But
procedure.
before that, you're not in Dominican Republic.
And the procedure with that is also we had to declare, what we had. So we had
Like
to declare
weapons,
our
so we
cash,
had our
declare
weapons ready to be declared.
So our weapons
out
were
on the
out,
tables.
Yes, on the table.
What kind of? Wait. What kind of weapons are we talking here? What's the coolest weapons you guys had at the time?
Well, it depends on for what purpose.
Well, for me, the
Well,
Benelli
okay, for
shotgun.
defending
She liked the
your
Benelli.
boat.
She liked the Benelli automatic shotgun.
Yes, that was my
I like my specially modified AR-15 with some serious shit with a binary trigger. You know what a binary trigger is?
It responds to
You pull it. I'm sorry.
That's good.
You pull it, it fires. You
Oh,
let it off, it fires.
Oh wow.
You pull it, it
both
fires.
directions.
You let it. They
Both
go
directions.
bam, 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 bam,
Both directions.
faster than a machine
It was
gun.
cool.
So in any case,
Huh.
so that was my favorite weapon,
And a
and then
couple pistols. We had some pistols.
a couple of pistols. And
You know, they
Block
they
17.
called me the binary machine gun in college. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you do know you have used a
Look,
binary
really?
trigger, yes?
That's right.
No.
No,
No,
You
he
have?
has no
No.
idea what
No?
we're talking
No,
about.
we
No,
did not
not-
use binary.
not-
trigger.
not-
Are you guys not gun guys?
No, well, not.
I own some,
yeah.
but not a binary trigger.
We own
That's,
guns, but in college they called me that for a different reason.
We
Yeah,
already
Yes, he's
You
making
You can't
Fair
buy any
enough.
guns.
All right.
You can't buy
Let's
any guns
move
right
on.
now.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Too
So
high for
the
us.
guns are out on the table,
keep your gun on you.
unloaded, unchambered, with the slide back.
We're always
on.
armed, even when we're not armed.
We're armed every
So
fucking
I heard
time.
someone ask if we had a gun.
No,
Uh-oh.
don't
What we
show
got?
it. Don't show it.
Oh, wait.
Don't show it.
Yeah, we've been talking. No.
Well, can
Why?
we?
No. Yeah.
If this goes on YouTube,
Oh,
are we
no,
cool?
they're listeners.
Not live.
What, you can't
Yeah,
show a
you-
gun
you-
anymore?
Yeah,
You can
show
show
it.
it.
Show it. Go ahead.
All right.
Are you kidding me? You
No, you
can't
can- no,
show
you
a
can- you
gun?
can.
No. You
Go
can
for
show
it.
Let me
Yeah,
see it.
show us your gun, John.
I want to see
You
what
can
you
show
got.
it.
Oh,
That's an AK-47.
And that's the one that's got the double the double trigger.
Now I am not. No, hang on. This is an AK-47, people.
Yeah,
I can't get AR-15s over here. Which lets you know I'm not in America, because this would not be my weapon of choice if I were able to get an AR-15. Keep in mind, all those guns and shit were confiscated, gone, boats gone. So in any case, let me get this back.
Well, you're still able to maintain an arsenal, which is impressive. You know,
well, no, it's not. You have to. We keep on having to recreate it. They took all of our guns. All right.
Okay, so Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. So in any case, it's pretty clear we're not allowed to talk to immigration, nor customs, nor to get off the boat, while more and more people come. Finally, this short motherfucker, short cropped hair with a black suit, black pants, black tie, comes and introduces himself and says, "Hello, I am the prosecutor." I go, "Okay," in Spanish.
So his job or like his nickname?
Soy prosecutor, right? So, all right.
Yes. So
now I know I'm not talking to immigration or to customs.
Which they never let us do.
And so they were on my boat illegally because I haven't docked legally. I haven't gotten off the boat yet. I'm not in the Dominican Republic, and they get on my boat from internal. It's not the Coast Guard, not the Navy. No, it's internal executive security.
Yeah.
The special forces that the president of the Dominican Republic uses to terrorize his rivals, raid small villages in neighboring Haiti when nobody's watching, and shit like that.
They're like was it the GES?
That's who I'm talking to. I'm sorry?
IES?
The GES in Belize, was it? The gang enforcement?
No, that was the GSU, the Gang Suppression Unit.
Yeah.
No, I'm used to this shit. Trust me, this is nothing new for me.
Yeah.
So that was more serious. The GSU,
yeah.
Well, motherfucking hell, the time I had with those people was a very unpleasant time. But that's another story. We're now in the Dominican Republic and the equivalent of the GSU, only now there's already international attention. People are waiting for us. Photos are being taken. John McAfee's boat and the Dominican harbor raided. And all this isn't fun because we're right in an area that's surrounded by hotels, and our friends are on the porch waiting for us. And so all this is being filmed. And as soon as he got into social media, half an hour later, even before we were formally arrested, it was in the news. Check that period out, okay? July of last year, man.
It was a coordinated thing
until like 48 hours later.
Yeah, we were detained, but not formally arrested for another 48 hours, another 2 days. And then the game started. Meanwhile, I managed to get 2 lawyers in the Dominican Republic on my payroll. Why? Because I had
we needed a lawyer.
Huh?
It was just we needed a lawyer.
We needed a lawyer. Plus, I had $100,000 in cash on my person, $25,000 of which I paid them immediately in cash. Now, how did I do that? I've been in more jails than any man on this planet, at least in different countries. And I know how to do shit. But anyway, so.
Does that have anything to do with Bitcoin?
Nothing whatsoever. Listen, Bitcoin doesn't do jack shit when you're dealing with soldiers that have loaded weapons.
Set of skills.
Yeah, fair enough.
So no,
only cash is king.
Only cash. Cash is king when it comes to the underworld. And I consider the Dominican Republic to be as underworld as you can ever get. In any case, so now, 3 days later, they tell us we're going to immigration and that I'm going to get to go to England with my wife, which is all I wanted. The other people, our staff, they're going to go back to their homes. Perfect. So they come and pick us up. We're surrounded by, again, people with guns. We drive at some mad pace from wherever we were across to Santo Domingo.
Santo Domingo. It took forever,
Yeah.
forever. They stopped on the side of the highway to pick up someone's dinner.
That's
Like,
true.
what the fuck? And
That
they were
is
supposed
true.
to be taking us to the airport, all right? This
Right.
is when they were supposed to be
Yeah.
taking us
No,
to the airport, and
but-
they take us to another jail.
And instead of going to the airport, they take us to the end of nowhere, which is really a junkyard. There was a junkyard
Yes.
right there, and some raggedy old buildings that looked like they were horrific detention. And thank God those things were closed down at the end of the Dark Ages. No, they're still open. That's where we spent the night. But before that, it's clear to me that somebody in the middle that doesn't understand the upper thing said, you know, we're gonna kill this guy
And take the money. Yes, that's what their plan was. They had us counting his money, $100 bills in the middle of the street under a street lamp.
Now this is after we got to that major that ugly detention center.
Yes.
And it's 11 o'clock at night. We don't have it. They have a cardboard box in the middle of the street under the only light there is, which is a street light.
Counting 70.
Counting. I said, I'm counting the money, and they're about to take it. I said, whoa, receipt, right? I figured they're going to take the money and kill us, but I've been in this position, so I go receipt. No, meanwhile, Janice didn't do this yet.
What? Oh no, I was cussing and fussing the whole time.
Janice. Okay,
yes, okay. Well, tell this part because they're
okay. So now, in any case,
asked for the receipt, and while they were getting the receipt, I was
no, they didn't. That's not how it worked. Okay, so in any case,
that's what you wanted to tell them how I was.
Let me tell them the receipt part. So I asked for a receipt, and they're looking at each other like, what?
Right.
They're like, did we just hear that?
Yeah.
We've got the guns, right? It's 11 o'clock at night. No one knows where the fuck you are, dude. I go, I want my receipt. So somebody, fortunately, goes inside to some raggedy old building, and out comes a colonel, right? Who's pretty much unaware of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I shake hands, and in Spanish, lo siento, señor coronel. Pero necesito recita. Entiende usted? And I reached out with my hand, and he reached his out, and we shook as two gentlemen would. Now, even in a corrupt motherfucking country like the Dominican Republic, someone with the rank of a colonel is not going to whack someone, which the news is fully aware of, right? For a mere, it's now only $75,000 because I've given $25,000 to my lawyers. No, for a mere $75,000, are you fucking stupid? So I could see him looking.
Take your word for it, John. This is all news to us.
Pardon?
It's all new to us.
No, that makes sense though. I mean, Dominicans still people travel there. It's a tourist spot. They don't want that shit. They don't want that shit for $100.
Listen, the lower downs, the Scarja,
I understand.
First of all, most of them can't read.
If I was a lower down, I would have shot you and taken the $75,000. I get it from both sides. I mean, if I was
right. So, but in any case, bluffing works tremendously well if you are confident and unafraid. Now, after that, things are fine.
Not after that. It was during. See, this is what I was trying to tell you.
Okay, but at some point in this, Janice, and this is after I had...
he noticed that I was cussing everybody out because I was pissed off because they wanted to search my belongings again. Okay, I was tired. I was fucking hungry. I was supposed to be at an airport. Now we're separated from our attorneys. So yeah, everybody was hearing my fucking mouth. Plus they tried to kill us the night before, but that's not, it's just a thing, all right?
So
I had a problem with that. Yeah.
Right.
I
didn't like them.
I mean, you guys threw him off completely.
How'd they try to kill him?
Yeah, I wouldn't like him either,
so poor John, he's sitting over there and they're looking at him, looking at me, and he's like,
right. Now, so I had just established some rapport, right? And I thought, listen, I got this shit. This is no fucking problem, right? And then Janice explodes at one of the officers, right? So, which immediately made my cred go way down. Except,
right. I mean, that's marriage,
just
right? That's marriage.
every one of them, every one of these men
trying to kill
looked
you,
of
and then
they all looked of marriageable age in a Catholic country. They all had wives. So I just go, and they all go, they're nodding. That saved the day.
That's awesome.
But in any case, that's not the end of the story. The big part comes at the end. But we don't have any more time.
So Janice saved your, life there.
Do we? Okay, let's finish the
They
story.
didn't get to ask you anything, so let's hurry up and finish. So they can.
Okay, so now let's finish the story. To tell you how we got to where we are right now was a direct fork from that Dominican Republic thing. So now, okay.
The next day they take
I got my receipt in hand, signed by a Dominican Republic colonel. Right? So I'm not worried. I'm getting my fucking money. There's no question about that.
Yes.
So we're going without the money to the airport.
Not the airport, no, to immigration.
Immigration at the airport. Or anyway, the head of immigration. Maybe it's not at the airport. I didn't fucking know. I never got to see outside. In any case, so that's the first time. And by the way, I already have retained lawyer and an official is talking to me. They have to be there. So my two lawyers are there, and me, and the guy doesn't speak English. He speaks Spanish.
This is at the immigration office.
At the immigration office.
Yes.
And he says, Miss McAfee, we're sending you back to America. We're not filing any charges against you or your wife, and your wife can go back with you. And I said, well, international law says that you have two options: to send me where I want, or back to the country I came from, which is, as you see on my paperwork, Cuba. If you want to send me back there, fine, knowing they wouldn't. And the guy goes, yes, but unfortunately you have to. And I go, why? Es muy complicado, amigo. It's very, very complicated. Well, I know what the complication was. It's America demanding, and how they arranged for the Dominican Republic to arrest us before we even got there. How the fuck did they know? But they knew. That we were, before we got there, we were surrounded. They were waiting for us. Now, so I go, okay. So, and he goes, there's no argument. I'm sorry, sir, we're sending you back. So I said to my lawyers, I want you. They spoke very good English. I want you to file, and it was 2 p.m. I want you to file with the Dominican Republic courts a stay order pending my getting to tell my side in court. Now, by then, we'd been in jail for 4 days.
Yeah.
And we are in the international press everywhere. John McAfee and Janice McAfee arrested with cache of weapons in the Dominican Republic, failed to declare to customs. Why? They never once would allow us to talk to customs. They boarded the boat before I could even talk to immigration. So in any case, doesn't matter. The law is always on their side. However, only if the courts don't get involved. And if the courts get involved, and they saw the shit that went down with them boarding our vessel before we even talked to immigration, illegal for a Dominican Republic official to forcibly board a foreign vessel that has not docked. You've got to go through channels for that shit.
Yeah.
Coast Guard. You got to go through the Coast Guard or possibly the Navy if you can make it a military matter. Otherwise, they're the only motherfuckers that are allowed by international law to touch your boat.
So are you waiting? Are you waiting?
Ours with drawn weapons.
Right.
Okay.
Are you waiting to fight this fight right now? This legal fight? Is there? Are you?
Oh fuck no! There's no legal fight.
No.
There's no legal fight. So let me explain how this works. No, let me explain how this works. I mean, no, I knew that they would not want me to get my day in court, and so that because that would be the ruination of this whole thing. It would divulge exactly what corruption was there. So in any case, so the lawyer said when we got outside, I said
it's going to take 2 hours.
She said it's going to take 2 hours. I said, okay, you've got 2 hours. I said, but they're boarding you on the plane now. I said, no, you have 2 hours. Then I went and told Janice. I said, Janice, whatever happens, In the next few minutes, do not panic.
You didn't say all that. You just said, "Don't worry, don't worry
Whatever.
about me. I'm doing my thing."
Oh, don't
And
worry
he gave
about me. Okay,
He gave
right.
me his glasses, and then, well, you didn't have time to say all
No,
that.
I gave him glasses
So,
because I had to fall on the floor in a convulsion. So now,
and so
okay.
they
I
had
didn't want to
counting
bust my
his
glasses.
money again. They had given him back the money. They were counting it again in the room across from where we were with the immigration. And so then I think he went and sat down, and then a few minutes later he fell on the floor and having convulsions. This time he faked, instead of a heart attack, it was a stroke. So
Yeah,
when
they
he
did a
came
heart
to,
attack 8
he
years
pretended
ago.
like he
That
didn't
got me
recognize
out of trouble in Guatemala.
the faking the heart attack did.
Yeah, I thought faking a heart attack twice.
That works then. Wow.
So now, so I'm in
No. The
convulsions.
second time was not going to work for a heart attack. Even I could tell the way that they were looking at him. They looked very skeptical.
They were
like,
seriously
"Let me see.
skeptical.
This
Yes.
is like bullshit, right?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And unfortunately, immigration had a doctor on
Yeah,
premises
they had a doctor.
who
They told
was
us we might
watching
do
me
this.
like a fucking hawk.
Exactly.
And so I'm going, okay, what do
He
I?
comes to and he pretends like he doesn't recognize.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what's going through my mind. What do I know about symptoms of stroke? Outward symptoms. So I opened my eyes, and then I pretended not to know anybody. My staff that was there, my lawyer.
Oh my God, he's had a
immigration
stroke.
guy I had just sat with, and I was terrified. I was scooting across the floor backwards. No, stay away. And I think that's what, if the doctor had said you're faking, all the women there who were going, oh please. That was especially the one secretary.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, listen,
McAfee.
he's very good at this. He's very, very good at this. Because when you think about it, he just fell on the floor and then they thought he had a stroke. No, he was very convincing, of course. It's the acting ability as well. You can't just fall on the floor
this didn't make the
expect
list.
that to work.
This didn't make the list of the craziest things you've seen him do.
Yeah, right.
No.
No, this is not the craziest. I fucking promise you.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, all right.
when you're trying to save your life, right?
Yeah,
Anything
sure.
goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is
is not crazy shit. This is necessities.
Because if he got sent back to America,
It's the end of me.
That's a hell of a story. Man, that's the most amazing shit I've heard in a long time.
Yeah. So anyway, they took us to the hospital.
Yes.
Took me to the hospital. They were about to put Janice on an airplane when they called her back, which I knew they would. They're not going to send her to America. John McAfee dies on the way to hospital in the Dominican Republic under mysterious circumstances while separated from his wife. Well, no, that's not going to look good. So if I'm going to die, they want my wife at least by my side. They're having a heart, right? So no.
And so when I get to the hospital, after coming from the airport anyways, he's there and he's still sort of out of it, so I'm playing the part, and he's still trying to just stall for time. And then finally the lawyers came. It took them forever, and they finally came, and they worked out the paperwork.
Yeah, they were a little over 2 hours. I'm in the hospital now, and the lawyers come in smiling at me, waving papers, right?
Yeah.
5 minutes later,
Keep
5 minutes later, head of immigration comes to the hospital and says, Mr. McAfee, we're sending you to England like you asked. Now, not only did they send us to England, they paid for our ticket. They gave us a military escort to the airport and had a colonel sit with us until I was safely on the plane. And they took us to the VIP lounge where they serve heads of state. We were served with waiters in formal attire, white gloves.
It was a nice change.
It was a
It
nice
worked
change.
incredibly.
Champagne and canapes.
And so then we landed in London. We spent the night there, and we are
At a hotel,
somewhere.
which we did pay crypto with.
Yeah.
the crypto hotel. Yes.
Well, do you guys mind if we run down some of these questions? Because
Yes. Now they have to answer questions. So sorry that took
Well,
so
that was
long.
it. That was it.
I'm going out. It was nice talking to you guys.
Thanks, Janice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, baby.
Now get their questions answered.
I thought.
It's not my fucking fault. They
It is your
started.
fault.
They're the ones.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We're that high.
They're
I
the
thought-
ones that said smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you not say smoke?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Right. Are you hearing this?
He gets chatterboxy when he smokes. All right.
That's okay.
All right. Well, it's good for an interview.
We're gonna
Yeah,
get
no,
focused.
because I don't give a shit about anything other than what's happening here.
Well,
now.
real quick, did you go from
Therefore-
England? Did you go from England
I'm
to
sorry?
Spain? Did you go from England and then to Spain next, and then wherever you are now? Is that
To
the
the
Bahamas?
No. We just went to Spain to visit friends. We just
Oh, so
happened
you
to
were-
get there.
you
We just
were in
happened to
England.
get there the day before lockdown.
And you were in England before Spain.
Okay, so we got to England and then we went underground. We haven't told anybody where we were.
Yeah.
And if we show pictures of ourselves and the location,
It's intentional. Now let
Right.
him ask questions, babe.
yes, sorry.
And,
I thought he was asking questions. Ask questions, she said.
Yeah.
Of course. I want to know where the hell you are, but I know
Well,
you
that's
can't.
not. We can't get an exact
I know.
location. Yeah.
Everybody, listen, our family doesn't know. Our family doesn't know. Our closest friends, nobody knows where Janice and I are. And that's the only way we can stay safe. We don't own phones.
Is it
If we
just the
did,
two of you?
we'd be found in seconds.
Is it
We
just
don't own
the
phones.
just the two of you, you and Janice, or do you have anyone else still there?
Just Janice and I. We escaped from the Dominican Republic, fortunately, with the cash in my pockets, and hit London. And I knew I couldn't stay there for long because England is America's best friend. Right? So fortunately, we got there after the government offices were closed, and it was a Friday. So I knew we were safe for the weekend, but we still left early the next morning to get the fuck out of England.
Fuck yeah.
Makes sense.
And after that, we have not told anybody where we are. Now, we did visit Germany, and about 2 weeks after we visited, we published photos and videos as if it was happening live.
Throw them off the scent.
And we do have friends in Spain, but we did not announce we were in Spain until after we left Spain. So,
Hey, John, can we go through? So I don't know how you don't know much about our show, but our show is like a lifestyle show and a politics show. So, and we're out there dudes. That's why we're very glad you smoked dope with us. And can't beat that shit. So if we can we run down some questions about your presidential run and then get into some lifestyle stuff?
Go for it, Pat. Ask a question.
Okay. Well. First of all, you're running Libertarian 2020. Crazy. All right. What's your platform? What do you want to do? Why you for the Libertarian ticket?
this is my second pass at the Libertarian. I ran in 2016, came in third for the nomination. That's my first time in politics. I don't want to be president. I don't think it matters who the president is. I have no platform because I have no desire to be president. And what I want to know is why do we actually elect people who spend $100 million to take a job, paying a few $100,000 a year? Now, my granddaddy said if things don't add up, they don't add up. It's weak. Our country started with people like George Washington, who did not want to be president. I mean, he flat out said, listen, I was general of the Continental Army. No man has sacrificed more for this country. Leave me be and let me fish on the Potomac River. I understand fishing on the Potomac back then was outrageously good. No, they drug him kicking and screaming. Because in all sincerity, people, who else was there? I mean, you got Benjamin Franklin. All he did was chase skirts and drink wine. Even though he was brilliant. I'm sorry.
Washington was the clear alpha at the time.
Yeah, no. Who else? And Thomas Jefferson couldn't find his fucking glasses. I mean, seriously. John Hancock had one talent. That is a fantastic signature.
Wow. Yeah.
Can't beat it.
George was really all there was.
Hey, John.
They shamed him into taking it. That's what we need to do now, people. We need to shame people into taking a job rather than vote for people who would want the job.
So who would you shame? Who would you shame into being president besides yourself?
First of all, we have to change the system because it really doesn't matter now. Our system is so broken by the negligence of the American voters that it doesn't matter. It's like a car with a broken steering wheel. It doesn't matter who's driving that car.
Yeah. John, that's a
the
tricky
car's going where it's going. I'm sorry?
I said it's a tricky slope because I know when I'm like doing a job that I really don't want to do or I was shamed into doing, I don't really do it that well most of the time.
Well, what about, well, I promise you, if you pay 10 times more for a job than what it will pay you, I promise you, you will do a damn sight worse than the job you'll do by
you
into it.
You said no platform, but I'm going to call bullshit on that because you definitely would run on the platform with no taxes, correct?
Yeah, but I mean,
the
right mind would not have a platform. But let's not do unconstitutional things anymore. And the Constitution clearly forbids income taxes. Good God Almighty, and yet we pay them.
But what about this?
Sorry.
What about this? Should the president, if they're going to be shamed into doing a job they don't want to do, should they be provided with unlimited women?
Absolutely. Of course. Why else do the job? I mean, really, if you put me in a position now where I didn't want to do the job, I'd have to shoot myself. Listen, I've only got a few years left in the twilight of my life. I ain't spending it in misery. Unless, get enough women, possibly, or men, if you happen to be a woman, or gay, or sheep, I guess.
Let's talk about that. What about whales or dolphins?
What was that you just did,
Have you successfully mounted?
Everybody tells me that's not consensual with whales, right? I don't know about dolphins. So.
If you can get the penis in a whale, it's fucking consensual, John. If you're able, you know what I mean?
Let me ask a simple question because somebody said dolphins. I want to let you in on a secret that very few know because very few thought about it. That male dolphins will actually fuck female humans. You do not think so? Google it, people. It's a very common thing. Right?
Would you let your lady in a pen with dolphins if that's the case?
If she wants, fuck me. Listen, I don't let my lady. Was that the question?
Yeah. Hey,
Janice. This
no,
is do I let you do this? Would you please come here?
Do you let me do anything?
Uh-oh.
No.
And Pat's the Me Too guy, too. She's talking about letting women do
what... let your wife do and go, let? Are you fucking insane?
I do what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah, you tell her.
Yeah.
Well,
she does what the fuck she wants to do.
Okay, John,
if I were to say, don't do this, I'd better be at least 30 feet away and running.
John, my bad. My bad. Okay. Instead, let's move on from dolphins and whales. We heard some stuff about a hammock and a hole. Belizean ladies. It has to do with them shitting, you catching it in the mouth. Is there truth to this? Is this your thing?
Well, you're asking to dig into my sexual life.
Yeah, we're a
further than which I have revealed or am willing to in polite company. I don't even fucking know you, dude. We've never shaken hands. Okay, we've never dropped acid together. So to ask me that question is the height of offense. Do you understand?
Oh, no offense.
Have you ever fucked a rabbit in the ass? Tell me.
I haven't, but I might. But I would drop acid with you.
But how can I believe you?
Well,
how can I believe you? There are allegations.
I don't believe him either.
No disrespect.
No, I understand. Don't ask me any personal questions like what my wife and I do in the sack.
I have a question.
That's just fucking rude.
What?
That's just fucking rude.
Yeah, I agree. It's fucking rude.
That's rude.
I mean, I don't like that question.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking off the point. All right.
I have a question. I have a question, Pat. What is the best drug to do in the world?
For what? For contemplation, introspection, for keeping up for days in order to do your exam.
Like if you had like 1 week left on Earth and you could do one drug for a week, what drug would you prefer?
Oh shit, MDPV, but only if I had about 30 women with me.
What is that? What is that? I don't even. We've never even heard of that, John. Explain.
What? Methylene dioxypyrovalerone? It's you young kids. See, you're stuck in all of this strange organic chemistry sort of thing, kind of drugs like peyote and mescaline and magic mushrooms, of course, and ayahuasca, and on, all of which I have taken more of than you could possibly carry, and yet you know nothing about real drugs like MDMA,
no
2CR.
No clue.
Well, educate us.
Look it up. I'm going to let you. Okay, let me tell you what it is. Certainly the most powerful drug ever conceived. It's of the cathinone class. What, baby? Oh, sorry. It's of the cathinone family. And there are hundreds of cathinones out there. Some of the ones that are safe for people who have tried cathinones are alpha PDP, ABDB, alpha BDB, alpha PHP. There you go. Alpha PHP, good safe drug. Even if you've never taken a real drug before, it's all you've done is methamphetamines, cocaine, and heroin, and that shit, which are nothing compared.
So
to
these are all lab created? You're talking about, right? Like,
yes, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely. By China, for fuck's sake. No, you need to keep up with drugs.
Speaking of,
if you take MDPV, here's a problem. Let me tell you. No, it has a massive risk factor. You remember about 6-7 years ago in Miami, where a man ate the face of a total stranger.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Bath salts, right?
He was on methylene dioxypyrovalerone.
And that's the one you want for the last week?
Yes. Yes. Let me explain this. Let me explain this. Now, MDPV is the most dose-dependent drug ever created.
I would imagine.
So weigh yourself down to the half an ounce almost, and work this formula, which averages out to about 1 milligram per 1 milligram for 25 pounds.
Okay.
And let's just say your dosage is then 5 milligrams. You're 125 pounds. Actually, no, that's way too much. Let's make it 175 pounds, 5 milligrams. In any case, I don't have the formula in front. In any case, so now, if you take exactly 5 milligrams, you're going to have an experience that you have never dreamed of.
What's it like?
If you take 4.5 milligrams, you'll feel nothing. If you take 5.5 milligrams, you will eat somebody's face off. Do you understand?
That's
the
so
danger
dangerous.
of this. That's how dangerous it is. So you better have $10,000 of scaled equipment, scaling, so that you can, because you can't do this shit by halving. Oh yeah, just cut it in half, cut it in half. On NDPV, you're going to feel nothing, or you're going to eat your own foot in front of your family.
Okay.
So,
hey, John.
Yes.
So we would be, remiss to not. We've obviously seen the documentary that was put out that kind of is getting some, some more attention, whether it's negative attention mainly. And we'd be remiss to not ask you about it. But I saw that you were ordered to pay $25 million recently for the death of the Gregory Fall.
That was a civil court.
Okay, I just want to know if you
I've never even been a suspect. Or never charged by any authority ever.
So why'd they order you to pay $25 million?
Do you know nothing about civil law?
Well, not as much as I think. I guess I think I do. I was wondering if you can explain it. Maybe you can explain what happened in that.
Number one, I never respond. I've been sued over 200 times, and this is not my first. My first wrongful death suit came because my nephew, who was a pilot. I'm also a pilot, was flying in Rodeo, New Mexico, one of my airplanes with a passenger. The airplane crashed and killed him and the passenger. The passenger's family sued me for $100 million for wrongful death. That's the same sort of suit.
Right.
Okay? I'm not even going to answer shit like that.
Okay.
I mean, no, not from you. I mean, I'm not even going to answer.
Yeah.
Did
George Paul?
If I don't answer, it defaults. And if it defaults, then they give them the money.
Okay.
I'm not spending millions of dollars to fight nonsense. It's nonsense.
Oh, so you'd avoid court over engaging in it just to save the money and then pay the fee at the end.
I'm not playing in a game which is weighted in the favor of lawyers.
$25 million.
If I were a lawyer, I'd be happy to play that game.
Yeah, but it might have been worth it maybe to get a lawyer.
I don't play it. I don't answer the suits. I get the suits. I throw them away and go on with my life.
Okay.
Do you think George Paul killed your dogs, though? Do you think he poisoned the dogs?
Of course not. He had a fucking dog. No dog owner kills dogs. I know this for a fact.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, Belize. Somebody in that thing called you the Belize Donald Trump. Do you give any merit to that comparison at all? And do you think
I don't know what it means?
I don't know what it means either, but I mean, like,
I get tweets to something I do not understand.
I think they were referring in the documentary that the Donald Trump likes the ladies and has a lot of money, and that's kind of what they were insinuating.
So I was thinking if you could use that in your 2020 campaign in any way. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, let me tell you something. I lived with 7 women simultaneously while I was in police. There's been no more horrific time in my life.
They start cycling together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus God, it's 7 women against you. She can't even win. Oh, I gotta go. Jan said I gotta go. I've got another minute going. My apologies, guys. That's it.
This one's huge. Huge. All right,
John.
all the kids are on an app called TikTok, which is a Chinese developed app. Is it dangerous for us to be on Chinese developed apps like TikTok from a security perspective?
You have no security and you have no privacy. This is the facts. I mean, if you understand that, do you give a shit?
Probably not. Is what I'm hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah!